welcome. We are going to be doing the 2.3 storyline today, or as much of it as we can. It'll probably be split into two parts like we have been doing for the other, for 2.1 and 2.2. We ended up having to split it into multiple parts because it was just so beefy. So we're probably going to be doing that today, but we're going to be doing the 2.3 stuff today. We just did the Leviathan arc. If you guys have played through post ARR, you know what arc that is. So we just did the Leviathan arc, and now we are going to go ahead and find out what is next on our agenda. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Your Ange would send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation. I would have you... Celia? I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. See, mayhaps this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Celia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Considering what will happen if you do this, word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Quietly, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. So basically what happened is these people arrived on a ship. If you guys are just jumping in, we'll explain it now, or if it's been a bit. These people arrived on a ship, and they were like, we need to speak to your leaders. And we were like, I mean, okay, sure, why not? These people... Well, we didn't say sure, well, why not? They traveled to Ul'dah and they weren't able to get anything, but Alphino, being the person he is, he was like, okay, look, we'll sit down, we'll hear you out. Turns out these people were from Doma. They were Doman, and Doma was basically razed to the ground by the Garlean Empire after they tried to kind of rebel against the Empire's... whatever. Their rule. And so Alphino was like, okay, we'll get you in to speak with the Sultana and the Syndicate, but you have to kind of convince them on your own whether or not you guys are worth helping out. And so they go in, and obviously the Sultana and Raban and Teleji Adeleji were all, yeah, sure, why not? We see the value in people as an investment. And the other people in this syndicate did not see that value, so the Domans were turned away. And putting our heads together, Alphino eventually was like, you know what? let me call Minfilia up. And he calls Minfilia up, and Minfilia goes, you know what, bring him here. This is gonna happen. So we put our heads together, we get them transport, we bring them to Revenant's Toll, which is fantastic because they can help build up Revenant's Toll, as this is the new House of the Rising Stone. It's outside of all of the other countries' jurisdictions. It's kind of like a neutral ground. But the problem is now that other refugees, because obviously it's a war-ridden world, there's going to be tons of refugees. They're like, well, if you gave the Domans asylum, then obviously you gotta give us asylum too. So that's kind of where we are. We're gonna see what these people say in terms of that. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia. I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12s be praised. It is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that got took. They say there's work, but there's aught for an honest man, not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up, and they climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity, and so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go, or you're turning us back, your back on us. If I might have a word. Tataru, is that amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. Huh? What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and every one. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other be by his side. Thank you. Pray, do not concern yourself with the matter we are discussing earlier. Yaida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated at the hourglass. Hurry quickly. Quietly. Hurry quickly. Unfortunate. Drag-tailed refugee. Poor guys. I mean, we can't From what I understand, it's kind of like we can't help them. Like we can't give them an actual house, but they can still be here and find work. It's not gonna be very fun. That's a cool mount. Right. Where is Mr. Alphanod? He's over here. Is it Alphano or Alphanod? I think it's Alphano, right? Well, he's standing just fine.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dah way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dahs to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Well, maybe whoever did this did it on purpose. As I told you before, this was all but inevitable that the incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Alright. guess we'll just run. Yeah. Now is not the time, quietly. My hands are full dealing with refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphanod, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Chirachugans. My memory of the riot is still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanolin. We have sent what forces we could spare to root out the last of the Belligrants, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given that the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little incident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I can hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tension between the Ul'dan citizenry and the refugee population has increased since the domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shrink responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of the refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, quietly. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at their request for information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers of my own, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Alright, Mr. Swift. You look as though you have something to say, quietly. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom to your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Well then, very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activities in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to the recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking with the blades posted there. Alright, Lost Hope it is. Let's mount up and fly on over there. Leo Frick and Amelberga. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak to Zazawaka. He will explain everything. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. All like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregorious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Zazawaka. In here? He's in here. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon? You're not a flame. I see. If Lolafric bid me you speak to me, then I take it you've agreed to help. Twelves be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! The childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. Well, what are you doing? Don't drag, or don't draw, don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We couldn't escape, we could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Soothe. Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true, I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for it, my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He'd split us into two groups, sent us off on our own. But the flames found us. We didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. The pox of all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhaps then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. South. Seven hells. They found us. Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So, what's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint ye, lass, but we're more than willing to kill ye ourselves. Oops, I didn't mean to do cure. Oh well. Nice. We beat him like it was nothing. Thal Almighty, what are we gonna do now? You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? There was no merchant. Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. Uh-oh. I think we're gonna end this one here for today. I'm not gonna lie, I did a lot yesterday and I don't want to burn myself out with story. I had an issue last time I played through where I like rushed through all of ARR and Heaven's Ward, and while the story is fantastic and I enjoy the story, it was just a lot to kind of muscle my way through, so I'm trying to take my time with this. So yeah, I'm going to end this for today. I did a lot yesterday. There's going to be a lot of Let's Plays coming out. I'm also going to be putting structured content on my other YouTube, so you can check that out as well. It is going to be more reviews. I'm going to be doing story summaries of the job quests if you don't want to play the job quests. If you happen to skip all the job quests and you kind of want to know what happened in the story, I'll be doing summaries of those. And I want to do some other like lore things and character things and like looking at story things and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it for today. Check those out. Like, subscribe if you like the playthrough so far and want to follow along. And And yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.